What are you doing, Chris?
I bought a Land Rover, mate.
Hi guys, welcome back to Raptor's Garage, and it is a momentous day. Chris has bought a Land Rover.
What have I done? Yeah, okay guys, like before anyone starts panicking, I'm keeping the Mitsubishi. I'm not getting rid of the Mitsubishi. This is not to replace the Mitsubishi at the moment.
Till he finds out how good Land Rovers are, and then that's scrapped.
Well, you know what? It was a really good drive back. So
Can't say that.
It was a good drive. I was honestly worried I wouldn't actually make it back, because it's done 100 miles to get back, and it hasn't blown up.
That's amazing.
So yeah, so guys, basically the reason is I needed. I've always been a little bit not happy with obviously the suspension setup. You know, with the independent front suspension. I've always liked the solid axles that Paul's got. And we've thought of ways, we have discussed obviously putting a Discovery chassis underneath it, but for all of that cost,
you've got a chassis now if you ever need one.
Yeah, if I change my mind. But the other big thing I wanted is I want 4 seats, because I want Ange and the 2 kids to start coming out next year, especially camping in the UK. They might not want to be dragged around the Pyrenees and places like that, but I think they're going to enjoy having some fun camping around the UK and the Green Laning. So I wanted 4 seats. So the plan is...
You've got 7.
I've got 7. I can take a couple of people with me. Got someone to put the fridge in the beers though.
Trailer,
which is still on the cards, guys. And the trailer is still.
The trailer is still being built.
Yeah, it's still going to happen. It is really busy.
You'll have to wait for the video I'm about to give you, because something's happened to my truck.
Yeah, lots has happened to it.
If you go to me, go to Instagram.
What's going on? It's crazy modifications. I unfortunately have missed a lot of it because I've not been able to get over here.
I haven't missed much. Maybe grinding and welding and crying and swearing.
When you saw the intro, there's another great big thing in the background.
That one there.
This one on my left here. Yeah, so it is mad busy, guys. There's loads of videos to come, loads of stuff. But what I suggested to Paul we do, I've been looking at discos and everything. I've gone for the 300 TDI. I looked at TD5s, and I don't want too much issues with electronics. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible because of what we do.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. So I've gone with this. I'm not after some super fast performing car. You know, as long as it.
I've just given you a boost pin.
Yeah, I've got a boost pin. We're going to do something. Don't get us wrong. But I bought this off Facebook. I went through the MOT history on it. It was very favourable compared to a lot of the ones which every year mention corrosion. And then they mentioned that there's so much underseal on it that they can't actually inspect for corrosion, and you think, I don't want that. This really didn't have an awful lot of issues with corrosion showing up on the MOT. Went over to Doncaster, which is about 2 hours, pretty much on this. I was going to buy it because I wasn't going to go that far and not buy it. Paid £1,200 for it, and I haven't bought a duffer, have I?
No, it actually looks pretty good. It's got a chassis and it's solid.
Yeah.
It's a start.
Everything else is fixable.
Everything else is fixable. Actually, it doesn't look bad. It's still got
it's
still got a tax disc.
So it's not been off-roaded, and I won't say it's not been looked after, but it's not obviously someone who's messed about a bit too much.
It's not been abused, unlike that one there that's been very, very abused.
Yeah, same with the Shogun, wasn't it? When we got the old tray back, it was like we were pulling out household electrics out of it. It's sometimes buying.
I wish that one had got household electrics. It hasn't got any. Nothing works.
Sometimes when you buy these modified vehicles, you know, again, with the one that Paul's just bought, the wheels alone are worth a good few bob. 35s, Coopers on it.
Yeah, on the right wheels and everything. So
yeah, you kind of also take into account then what else has these people done in the process of modifying it. So this hasn't really been touched too much, has it?
No. It looks to have had a cam belt. That looks like the most work it's had for a while.
Yeah.
It needs going through from front to back, guys.
Fix it first, as we've said in the previous
Yeah.
video. Fix it, then I'm going to start having some fun with it, and I can have a lot more fun because there's a lot more goodies to buy than there was ever with the L200.
Tyres would be a good start with this. They're all bald.
Yeah, they're all a bit naff. But what I said to Paul is,
You
Paul,
want to set to 35s?
yeah, absolutely. I want to go 35s on this now. When I pulled in and saw the size of this thing, I was like, yeah, this really is quite small now. I said to Paul, there's a walk around. So if, like me today, I was still there, a bit naive, looking around it, thinking, well, a chassis solid, that's rotten. I've come back, shown Paul the rotten things. He said, that's not a problem because you're chopping that off anyway as part of what you're going to be doing to the vehicle. So I said to Paul, why don't we just do a walk around and you show me what the things are to look for if you're looking for mainly a Discovery 1, because the with these, the chassis are good.
The first thing is
rotten,
that badge there.
Steer clear.
Just don't buy it because it's probably going to be broken.
Yeah.
Even the badge will be broken. So.
Right. So where are we going to start? I mean, this has got 137,000 miles on it.
So it's got pretty low mileage for what it's for each year.
Yeah.
And it's got just over average mileage.
Yeah.
Yeah, about average mileage. Well, where do you want to start? Engine?
Yeah, okay, let's look in the engine bay and show
Okay.
you the engine.
Right, pop that lid. Right, where are we going to start? Engine.
Right, so I mean, I basically, first thing that worried me when I was chatting with the guy is, I kind of, from chatting to him, because it was a bit awkward, he needed to get another car, so he kind of needed the money so he could go and look for another car. I was not going to just hand over the money. I did give him a small deposit to hold it, so he used that to go and put a small deposit on the car he was after. And I kind of, because he was so a bit almost keen to make sure it went to a good home, I presumed it was quite maybe a long family car. And then in conversation he suddenly said he'd only had it since August. So I thought, oh great, he's bought it and he's moving it on as quick as possible. So my first thing I did, let's see if the head gasket's gone, and just checked there's any foam in the oil.
Yep, that's always a good start.
There wasn't.
Take that off.
I mean, it's black and ugly, but
that's not bad. There's if there's like milky white crap on the back of your cap, it's a good chance the head's gone.
Right.
Unless it's a Volkswagen Golf, and then that's normal.
Yeah. That's a whole other project. There was oil, and I'm not dripping, but it's all, I think it's an old engine. I mean, what am I going to expect? It's not going to be there.
The engine actually isn't that untidy. There's a bit of a diesel leak here from either one of the spill pipes. It probably needs a new washer in it, but that's not the end of the world. There's a bit of an oil leak from the breather. There's no ring in the breather. Where this oil separator goes into the head, there's no ring. The O-ring goes brittle. Yeah. And then they start puking oil out. Right. Everyone goes, oh, there's oil all over the top of the engine. Yeah, it's usually that separator. Other than that, it looks quite good.
So anything particular should have worried me apart from that? I mean, I looked in the coolant as well, because unlike mine where I can just pop a cap off at the top and look in the radiator,
there's actually antifreeze in it as well.
Okay, so I obviously would have been looking for any oil in that as well, to make sure there's no oil in that.
Basically, these engines are pretty bomb-proof. If they start, they're going to run.
Yeah, and it started fine. And I did the old, again, I was always aware of the fact that put your hand on the bonnet or just touch the engine to see if the guy started it up.
Yeah, always make sure they're cold.
Sure it works,
because that way you'll get the first cough of smoke if they're chucking out a load of blue smoke.
Gave it some good revs to see if it was chucking smoke out. No smoke at all. I floored it a few times on the motorway. I took it for a very
Unlike mine, which just pours out smoke.
Well, and like both of yours that pour out smoke.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a theme.
Rolls cold.
Yeah, cold rolling.
Body-wise, it's these.
Well, just one of the things that on the engine is there's no fan. There's no fan here. Yeah, it was the first thing I noticed. The fan was missing.
It's gone. It's in the back. I saw it in the boot and I thought, oh, is that a spare fan?
But by the looks of it, there's also a load of the pulleys off the cam belt. So I'm assuming it's had a new cam belt, and the gasket on the cam belt cover looks new. It is. And all the bolts, there's all witness marks on all of the bolts. Right. If you have a look, every bolt's got a witness mark on it where it's had a socket on it. Yeah. So I would say that it's had a cam belt, which is a bonus. If it's had a cam belt, it means I don't have to do it. Yeah, there's even, if you look on the front pulley, there's a witness mark where it's had a big bar on to take the front pulley off. So I'm pretty sure this has had a cam belt.
Yeah.
Other than that, once you know the engine's alright, it's onto the bodywork.
Right, so engine wise, we can work on it.
Yeah,
We'll go over all the stuff we're going to do, guys, obviously over the next few months, but engine wise, thank God I've not bought
you haven't bought a bag of spanners.
Right.
Oh, one of the other things is the alternator bearing's growling on this, so it needs an alternator.
Okay.
or
So complete alternator where you can replace the bearing.
or just take it up to, I know an auto electrician who will just rebuild it.
Right.
It'll be, or you can put an uprated bigger alternator on, depends what you're planning on doing.
Okay.
I would possibly look for either 100 or 120 amp alternator and go big.
Yeah, because we know we're going to be charging a laser battery.
Yeah, because you're going to put a winch on, so you're going to need 2 batteries, so you might as well go for a bigger alternator.
Right. So, body and kind of, I mean, anything we consider chassis, what do I need to be looking for in here?
Well, these are notorious for the inner wings going.
Yeah.
So, the actual top part of the inner wing is quite good on this. The funny thing about these inner wings is the inner wing, the bottom section, is the same as the classic Range Rover, but to make them fit the wings on this, they actually added this top piece on.
Right.
So you see this seam here?
Yeah.
So that's actually an add-on piece.
So this possibly been repaired because this has all been sprayed up.
Yeah, that side's definitely add some welding.
Add some welding on it.
Light boxes. The light boxes don't look too bad, because the water blows in through here and they rot out at the bottom.
Sits in the bottom.
But they don't look too bad. So yeah, your inner wings are pretty good. There's a hole in this one. This is gone here. I could push my hand through that.
And is that a case of replace the hole in a wing, or would it be
No, you can get a repair panel for these.
Right.
I know a place that makes all the repair. You can either buy an entire inner wing, which is around about £300. But that's everything, that's the whole inner wing. 200 quid if you want to make it up yourself, or I think they're about 50-60 quid for the repair panels.
Right.
So this just wants a repair panel.
Cool.
Other than that, it looks pretty good.
Okay. So, you know, I was conscious these doors don't shut great. They need a good slam. If you don't give it a good slam, it doesn't shut great.
That's pretty much how they are.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought from yours, and I thought, you know, this one's kind of worse because I thought there's quite a gap at the back there, and that one obviously feels like it's dropped a bit, but
yeah, it's catching on there.
Might just need adjustment.
Yeah.
A bit of movement.
Hinge pins have gone.
Yeah, because I thought the gap between the two doors is even.
Bottom hinge pin's worn out on
so
that.
that's a fairly easy.
That's a new hinge pin. I don't care about the interior.
No, that was quite tidy. The whole thing inside is tidy. Again, it's not been pulled apart and messed about with too much. Headline is just dirty as anything.
Well, you saw mine when I pulled it out the other day.
Yeah, it's filthy. There was the rust around here, which I'd seen in the photographs. I was, you know, well aware of that. You said it's actually not too bad.
This piece up here is alright because that's actually part of the back body here behind this panel. This panel's aluminium, this one's steel.
Right.
Actually, that isn't too bad. That oxidisation there is, this aluminium sits, there's a little rubber like neoprene gasket that sits there.
Right, to stop the reaction between.
Yeah, it doesn't work,
right.
and that's why this bit rusts, because the aluminium, the electrolytic action starts the rust. But no, actually, that's better than my truck when I bought it, because mine fell off when I did that.
Okay. I pulled one chunk off the back and just left out of Morrison's as we were coming back. But
that's all good.
Window rubbers are split, but you said again that's a common thing.
That's normal.
Yeah.
It's not rotten. I don't know if that's in shot, because I don't think it is.
Yeah, I was aware of that, because remember, obviously, guys, there's a video of Paul actually repairing his Alpine windows. That these can rot, can't they, around the edges?
And this has got no rust in it by the looks of it. That's really good.
Brilliant.
That's unusual.
The guy did say the sunroof leaked when he got it.
They all do.
But he's pulled it all apart, fixed it, and he said it works great now and actually works. So again, I didn't check that, but
that's unusual, because most of them, what's it?
He said the back window winders are obviously not winders, but the controls are temperamental, so it looks like he's just put the child lock on, so you can't mess with them. I thought, yeah, I don't want to wind it down and then not get it back up.
Put it back
I'll
up.
Test that.
I've done that.
Yeah, I'll test that in the summer when I'm not going to have to leave it for. Inside, no rust inside there.
It's aluminium.
Oh, of course, it's aluminium. You just said that. Yeah.
There's the rust.
Cool.
You need a boot floor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's toast. It's been broken into at one time as well.
Shards of glass.
So basically, this weekend you're filling the bin up with the inside of your new car.
I was going to pull all the inside out. I was going to basically wire brush as much rust as I can physically see, and then just use some of the old, the rust inhibitor stuff. Just paint over everything, just to maintain it from there.
I'd just rip out all the carpet and let it dry out.
Yeah. Jet wash it all, get as much of the crap off it so I can see what's what.
But the boot floor's notorious. I don't think the panel itself's expensive.
Yeah.
I should know this because I've put that many of them in, but I think they're about 50, 60 quid, something like that, for the whole floor. And then the side panel pieces are, I think they're about 30 quid a side. So for 100 quid you can usually do the whole floor and replace all of it.
So it's got all 7 seats, because everything from the carpet upwards is actually quite nice and tidy, isn't it? It's sagging a bit.
That's normal.
But again, that's normal, isn't it?
I haven't even got a roof on mine, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, I won't try the sunroofs tonight until I'm home. It's grubby, it needs a good, shampoo and clean.
Right, one of the parts on discos that are always notorious and most people miss is just this plastic like sill panel, and you can see this one's bubbling here. It's usually rotten in this corner. They've usually gone along there, so you take this off and you find out you've got big holes behind there. But this one, yeah, it is starting to go. It will need welding. You may have bought it to the right place.
One thing I was expecting was the door to drop at least a little bit when you open it.
Yeah, but it's got the
or
drop
even
sticker.
Open, but of course it has to have the sticker in. It seems to lock itself when you close it.
And mine does that.
Does it?
When you slam it, the lock drops.
Right. But no, it doesn't drop, which is good. But what I pointed out, the hinge pin is gone, so it needs to be replaced.
Now the other place for checking is not so much the top side of this, but the underside. There's a body mount just there, and there's one that side, and they usually fall apart. Be very unusual if they don't need replacing. Look, he's got a new set of tyres. You have to put that on. Yep, and that one's no different.
Right, is it?
I can put my hand inside the bodywork.
Yeah. So these mudguard holders are just completely shot to pieces. But as Paul said, it's stuff that we're going to cut off anyway. And he was saying, Paul, we're going to literally cut this off anyway. From
if you go to that, if you go to that swage line where the rubber is, that's where you cut.
Right, so
straight across.
Straight across.
Just use that as a template and just cut that off.
Yeah.
There's it'll just improve the departure angle. So all in all, for what you've paid for it, you've got half decent motor.
Good starting car.
It's a project.
Yeah. So Campbell upgrade kit, belt drive, EGR blanking kit.
It's not on it.
It's laying in the back. There's the MOT test. Oh no, damage, cracking, perishing near side front. So internal body structure or chassis corroded, but not seriously affecting welding or security. Principal body structure or chassis corroded. Oil leak but not excessive.
Everything you expect on a
Semi-syn oil or Mitsubishi oil filter, fuel filter, air filter.
So it's had a fair bit of work then.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what the sticker is, 4+4.
Yeah.
Up to 105,000.
So, up to 105,000 miles ago, at least it was being serviced, and it's only got 130 on it. So, and it's had work recently. So,
it's kept it alive long enough to get into our hands.
Where you're going to break
where
it?
we know stuff will be done properly. If you ever watched the Mitsubishi engine video, you'll know what I mean. So I've not bought a dud. Brilliant. I'm chuffed with that. Pleased.
It's. I think it's a good base car.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Not as much as there is on mine right now, but.
I was looking. I was looking at other cars, but you end up then spending. You're looking at 5-6 grand, and you're thinking 5-6 grand gets me the entry level vehicle that you could build into an Overlander, so I'm still going to spend thousands on it. So then I looked.
So you went and bought a very small SUV.
Yeah, I basically I bought 1,200 quid. You know, it leaves me over time money to
At the end of the day, you've paid 1,200 quid for it. You can sell the engine, the box, the wheels. I was going to say the tyres, but no,
maybe not the tyres.
Not the tyres. Parts, gearbox, transfer box, glass, doors. You've made your money back. You can't lose.
Yeah.
Because I think as a donor, I mean, all the doors are good. There's no rust in any of the doors where they blow on the back of the seams. They're all solid. Roof's good. And most of the other bits were cutting away. You're going to have a boot floor.
Yeah.
You're going to have side panels.
Yeah.
Might as well weld the boot floors out, put a rear cross member in. Not the chassis one, the body one.
Right.
Because I think you can still get it as a whole piece.
Yeah.
I'll have a look.
Cool.
And I don't think it's very expensive. But then again, that one's repairable as well. So you can buy I know you can buy the mounts. So for a bit of plating, it might just be worth just putting a mount on, because the other side's okay. This side's gone.
Cool. Right.
But yeah, it's good.
Excellent. So my first plan this weekend, guys, is I'm going to rip all the carpet out.
It's going to burn it.
Get it dry, let it dry out, and just jet wash it, clean it, jet wash all the engine, get
a yellow marker pen, go around all the rust. Yeah. So that's just like there'll be like this outline.
Yellow, by the time it won't be red anymore, it'll be yellow. Brilliant. Right. So yet another project at Raptor's Garage, guys. Don't forget to click and subscribe below. It's always nice to have a thumbs up, and don't tell me.
Go and buy a t-shirt.
Yeah, go and buy a t-shirt. And we can't complain because I've got the Jap crap and I've got now the British crap as well.
It's just more crap.
Yeah. I couldn't afford the American crap, unfortunately.
Couldn't afford to run it.
No, not at 16 miles per gallon. Paul, am I supposed to get my hand through the floor and touch the tyre?
Yeah. It's ventilation, it lets the mud out.
Ah, brilliant.
What a nail. We've got plans for that one too.